Hey, what's going on, guys? Just sit back and relax and sit tight real quick. We're all excited to be here. Charlie has a few choice words for Batman Returns, but hey, it's going to be okay. This is actually going to be a fun review. Tomeka's here with me. Charlie's here with me. The gang's all here. Let's go on ahead and get this thing started. And hello, movie lovers, and welcome to the show. And like I said before, I have Charlie with me, and I also have Tomeka with me. Hey, guys, what's going on?
Not much.
Tuesday.
Hey, Taco Tuesday, right?
Yeah,
What better way to
tacos?
Hey, what better way to talk about Batman Returns than Taco Tuesday, right?
Yep.
So this is actually hands down one of my favorite Batman movies, aside from Batman 1989. Of course, this movie I saw every single Batman movie in theaters. So I'm actually happy that I actually did that when I was a kid. But the budget for this movie ranges between 65 million and 80 million. The box office was 266.89 million, which is actually a lot less than the very first Batman movie, believe it or not. Because remember, it made $400 and something million at the box office from 1989. So that's also another possibility as to why they went on ahead and chose Joe Schumacher to do the other Batman movies. But here's the thing with Batman Returns, though, for me. This also resembles the time in the theater again with my mom and telling me that this is a different Batman movie again. Just like almost every single time I have this talk with her. But, this movie is very entertaining. Also, too, my favorite part of this whole entire thing is when you see the chaos that's going on around in Gotham, we wind up seeing the clowns. We wind up seeing everything. And then here's Bruce in his mansion, and then all of a sudden the bat signal goes up. And all of a sudden it's like a wake-up call for Bruce. Ooh, I'm Batman. I gotta go out and fight crime. And then also, too, you also have a little bit of the origin story of Penguin when he's a baby and everything gets dumped into the sewer, and about the abandonment and everything else of what they did with this kid who has deformity. And then, of course, and he winds up going into the source, and that's where he lives. So, what did you guys think of this dark gothic setting that they had for this version? Because this seems more like a Tim Burton film featuring Batman, but it still has Batman in it, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Go ahead, Charlie. Just get it off your chest.
No, go ahead, Tomeka.
No, you just go ahead. You just get it out. Okay.
Yeah, maybe it's called Batman Returns. Yeah, Batman's barely in this movie. Like, literally, he's not. Like, you get more Selena Kyle. You get more Shrek. I think that's how you pronounce the name. The character, the Christopher Walken character.
Okay.
Like that was literally his name. They kept calling him Shrek. You get more Penguin, and Batman and Bruce Wayne's barely in the movie. Michael Keaton just looked like he looked unamused. He looked like he was just running for the motions, like he was done with it. Like he's barely in it. He like Bruce Wayne. He's like, oh, I'm here. Okay, I want to hook. Oh yeah, you're hot. I want to hook up with you. What? And then
that's Bruce.
Well, I know, but still, he didn't. He looked uninterested. He looked uninterested. He didn't look motivated. It looked like he was running for the motions. It was like, honestly, I was bored. I was bored watching this one. It was just like, all right, can we wrap this up already? Like, I didn't like the costume for Catwoman. I mean, I think if they could have taken, I didn't like the costume. I just didn't. It was just there's too many zipper marks on it because of that, like, or whatever, where she stitched it. That again, I've said this before when we talked about The Dark Knight Rises. I thought Anne Hathaway's Catwoman was better. The scene the two, it's not really a hot take. I like the character better.
No.
That's more of the realism of Catwoman versus the supernatural aspect of Catwoman is what you like. You like the realism as if the possibility of someone.
There was no chemistry between the two of them. There was just no chemistry between Bruce Wayne and Selena Kyle. And honestly, like, I thought the Christian Bale had more chemistry in The Dark Knight Rises, and it was more realistic. It's not, and then it wasn't as dark. I mean, the only thing I liked were the penguins, yeah, because those are my favorite animals in the sewer. But that's it. I mean, everything else was just boring. I was like, oh, can we just wrap this up already? I didn't care about the whole Penguin running for mayor situation. I just didn't. I mean, just reading the cast list of like how like so many other choices. Like, are you going to Wikipedia and see how many people were up for Catwoman and up for and up for Penguin? It's huge list. Like, there's so many other people that were up, and I think a lot of them like they just don't want to be it. And honestly, like, I'm glad there wasn't another Tim Burton one because I'm tired of the Tim Burton ones. They weren't entertaining. Yeah, it was dark and sure, the dark like being a lot darker and it was what led to less cringe and less campiness, but it was still like, okay, like let's get on with it. But yeah, to have a movie called Batman Returns and Batman's barely in it, that's not good. He's like a side character. And yet, when you have the other characters, there are more side characters too, but they're in the movie the whole time. Like most of the time, like Batman's probably in it at most like 30 minutes at most.
Wow, Charlie.
Yeah, it was bland.
Even Dark Childhood.
Dang.
It's like
The childhood sucks. Oh no. Well, look, looking back, I'm not sure what the drama was, but I guess I will agree. Michael Keaton did look like he had enough. I'm not sure if it was just getting in and out of that bat suit with all the heavy rubber. I like to know why he didn't come back for the third film.
Well,
anybody can look that up.
Well,
Maybe.
I already know this though too.
Okay.
And everything is also the direction that they wanted to go in with the different lighter stuff and things like that too. Like I mentioned last night, because of the violence that was in this movie compared to the first film and how dark it was and gritty it was for its time, they decided to go a whole entire different route. And then as soon as Michael Keaton found out that Tim Burton was not going to be a part of it, because him and Burton are really close friends at that time, they basically had the same relationship that Johnny Depp and him had at the time, because remember, they did Beetlejuice together. So when he found that Tim wasn't going to be around and they were going to change the tone of the film to benefit the toy sales, McDonald's, and all that other stuff, he bailed on out of there. And so therefore they had to replace him with another actor. They had to change things up, make it lighter, have the rave thing, glow stick war and everything, and have Coolio in it. But but I would have loved to see another Tim Burton adaptation.
Me too, Charlie.
What? I'm not. I was scratching my nose. I didn't realize that. Sorry.
I like this Catwoman. Like I said, Eartha Kitt is number one for me. It's Catwoman and Michelle Pheifer. Now her origin story was crazy. Like she get pushed out the window, and I talked to John about this. I was like, "Is there a possibility that somebody can be pushed out the window like that and survive?" And he said no, or they'll be paralyzed. And I was like, "But what?
Yeah, even if you survived it, you'll be paralyzed."
But like, what if they survive? And like, I don't know why suspension of belief. I was like, oh, okay, somebody can survive and really go batshit crazy, no pun intended. And they can say, oh my God, I like cats and I'm just going to be crazy and blow up stuff and pretend I'm a cat. Like it could happen, right?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay. Well, anyway,
unless they have brain damage to the point, even at that point, they're still in a wheelchair.
Damage. She had like a concussion.
Right, but she got up and acted like nothing happened or anything. But yeah, she
was off. She was out of there.
You just need to test the liquor. If
that part I didn't get. That part I didn't get. I agree. I didn't get that part. That was kind of
either.
Weird. And they were like chewing on her, and I was like, yeah, terrible. I don't understand. And then, she's like, oh, I'm up. I was like, okay, that's weird.
That's something I never understood either, Tomeka, to be honest with you. Because I'm like, are these mythological creatures? What are they? Are they from? I understand if you want to do like the Egyptian type of deal and try to bring her back in that kind of sense, but in order for her to do that, you have to have some type of way of where she stole maybe an artifact or something to make her have that. You have her as a secretary working for this corrupt Christopher Walken character.
Shrek.
And that's all she is. She's not a cat burglar or anything like that. So Tim Burton made an adaptation without the actual origin story of Catwoman. He gave us something on a Tim Burton stylistic kind of film versus the original context of what Catwoman is. But, you know, at that time, I was okay with the way that they did it because I was a kid. So seeing that never made me question it until now that I'm an adult, which, you know, we're all questioning it now. And I'm like, what kind of cats were these? Were these, what kind of cats were they able to go ahead and resurrect her from the dead?
Yeah.
You know?
Is there Selena Kyle in the comics?
Yeah.
One of her aliens?
That's actually her name.
Oh, Selena Kyle. Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, that whole part I didn't get. It seems like he read a little bit, or maybe he read about some origin story and said, "This is so
man."
Yeah, he was like, "This is so confusing. I'm just gonna make her a secretary or something, and I'm gonna add these cats, and people can put their interpretation into it. So we're just gonna half-ass this, so I can get on with introducing Catwoman." That's pretty much how it seems to me.
And she doesn't
appear
again.
I want to see more of her, though, to be honest with you, especially how they teased it at the end.
I think her and Bruce had chemistry, though.
Better than Vicky.
Yes, much better than Vicky. And she was strong. She didn't scream like Vicky. So you can at least give her that. I mean, she was crazy in the head, but
another thing,
independent.
It's another thing, though, too, I want to bring up about Selena, though, is this. And this is something that I really liked about her character was she was a very reserved character. Someone that never really stood up for herself. Yeah, she talked behind their backs and muttering behind her back. But as soon as she gets pushed out the window, it's like that personality took over her. Where she wasn't going to take no crap from anybody anymore. That gave her the strength to actually stand up for herself and become a tough character. And I have to say, I liked the way that they played off that narrative of that character. And everything too. I thought that was fine. I liked Danny DeVito as Penguin, of course. But to me, I thought Michelle Pheifer did a fantastic job for the time that Tim Burton did the casting for Catwoman. I mean, we have
who was also in the running for this role.
Well, yes, Charlie, tell us who was in the running.
Okay, so the other people that are involved were other actresses include Susan Sarandon, Meryl Streep.
No.
Brooke Shields, but Byrne called her not bankable. Demi Moore.
Oh, okay.
Maybe. Nicole Kidman, who ended up playing Chase in Forever. This girl named Sean Young, who had originally been cast as Vicky Vale in the first movie before having to drop out after a horse riding injury. Jodie Foster, Gina Davis, Sigourney Weaver, Lena Oren, Madonna.
I knew Madonna was probably... No, we already saw what happened with her and Dick Tracy, which is actually...
Yeah, she can't act. She would have made that movie horrible.
Cher.
No.
Ellen Barkin.
No. Who was that?
Who?
She was in the she was in that Animal Kingdom show. She was the one that played Smurf. She's when you're giving her a character that's pretty pissed off, you don't want to mess with her. I mean, honestly, that was one of the other choices. Jennifer Jason Leigh, Lorraine Bracco, Bridget Fonda, and Jennifer Beals.
No. Maybe Bridget. No. Well, you said Bridget Fonda, right?
Yeah.
Or did you say Jennifer Jason Leigh?
Yeah. Jennifer
Maybe
Jason Leigh.
Because she can play crazy, but I'm trying to envision these women in this suit.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no.
Demi Moore.
Demi Moore could be. I would give it. Demi Moore could have done a good job. I would have, if Michelle Pfeiffer didn't get the role, I would take Demi Moore.
Yeah, And
think she would be a good Catwoman.
And then I have the other casting that was like in the running for apparently for the Penguin before Danny DeVito.
All right.
You get well, Dustin Hoffman was originally offered it, but he declined.
Maybe
You had Marlon Brando.
he wouldn't have done that.
No.
Would he?
No, because here's the thing. At that time, big stars didn't even want to take a chance on comic book based films. I was even surprised to see Christopher Walken take a swing at doing a comic book based movie.
He's kind of an oddball anyway. So
so other ones were I said Brando, John Candy, Bob Hoskins, Ralph
Hoskins I can see possibly.
Maybe.
Yeah. Ralph Wadey, I don't know who that is. Dean Martin, Dudley Moore, Alan Rickman was then John Goodman, Phil Collins of Lollapalooza.
Maybe
What?
That was from South Park. They made fun of Lollapalooza. And then everybody kept pronouncing the name wrong, and it's called Lollapalooza or whatever.
Okay, I got you.
Christopher Lee, Joe Pesci, Ray Liotta.
Joe could probably do it, but it'd be more like a. That would be R-rated though.
You had to tell him not to cuss.
Alex Roca and Christopher Lloyd before DeVito got it. And then the Christopher Walken character, essentially that was supposed to be
maybe Christopher Lloyd.
But yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, Uncle Fester.
Yeah, I mean, but with Penguin, I've always pictured Penguin to be someone on the size level of Danny DeVito's level in a sense. That's why Joe Pesci's, to me, stands out a little bit more on the list versus Marlon Brando and everybody else. Don't get me wrong, I love Marlon Brando.
I don't see him having the patience with all the prosthetics and all that. I don't see Joe Pesci having that much patience. No.
I mean, I didn't see Colin Farrell having all that patience to do it for that. He's the Penguin now in this new Batman, but he's not going to be in it very long.
Are you?
Well, that's because now here's why though. He's doing his own HBO Max series.
Yeah, but I want to see him in it longer though.
I mean, it's a 3-hour movie, but I think I read it. It's not very long from what I read.
That's sad.
You can always come back after HBO Max.
He needs to be in the movie and suffer like Danny DeVito suffered eating raw fish. I'm sure it wasn't I'm sure he didn't really eat that. And having the prosthetic fins and then the chocolate syrup go out his mouth. He needs to suffer just as much as Danny DeVito suffered.
We'll talk about
yeah. Go ahead, John.
To be honest with you, I didn't understand the whole entire green blood that they chose for him to do at the very end where he comes out of the water and he has like green blood on him. I know to me, he was a human being. He wasn't like this mystical creature where
kind of was a creature.
His birth. I'm trying to figure out who was it, the mom or the dad side that had this genetic defect that he came out like a penguin. Like, she didn't sleep with a penguin? Like,
I mean,
why did he have the flippers? And
I mean, I know this is before, like, this came out like this is like 19 years before a girl got it on with a fish in the shape of water. Like, I mean,
see, yeah,
it's in Kevin Smith's terms, it's called interspecies erotica.
Yeah, that's what that was, and I was like, okay. I was just trying to figure out who was it, the dad side or the mom side? Where did this genetic defect come from?
I didn't really dive that much into it at all. I'm
diving into it now, not as a kid. I'm just trying to figure out who did this.
I didn't care about the character to get into that much.
I still care because I had it's nostalgic for me. I had the penguin toy from McDonald's.
I did too. But you know what though? It makes also too. They also had the original actor that played the penguin's father in the Gotham in the Gotham TV series though too. They had Pee Wee Herman come back as the Penguin's father in
Oh.
Gotham.
But he did play a different character though. That's what they said. He
Right.
came back, but he's a different. It was a different role, different that he just come in like a father figure, but he really wasn't really the father because they kind of wrote it differently in the show.
Yeah,
I watched an episode of Gotham. I was in
yeah, the guy who played Penguin, though, he was a little bit taller.
Yeah, he was taller.
Yeah.
It's a different version of what we know, what we depict of who the Penguin actually is.
Yeah.
But
well, sorry, going back to Michelle Pfeiffer's outfit. I like the outfit. It's sleek to me in its design, but also chaotic because I like to think that Catwoman is a little bit chaotic. I mean, there's different versions of her. Like she's a cat burglar, of course. But I don't know, for some reason the outfit choice fit the character for me personally. Like she's a little bit crazy. She's out there and she's like stitching herself up like she's a Frankenstein monster. But she's
like
also,
pieces of her is gone.
yeah. If you dive deep into it, she was erasing Selena.
She was. That's exactly what it was when she was coming home and everything, and was graffitiing everything, and also too, just going on ahead and just destroying everything that Selena had, and basically saying, "Now I live here." Not her.
Yeah, and even
That's
when
very
she
symbolic.
was at, it's like a body snatchers type of event. Like even when she came back to work, and what's his first name? Shrek's first name?
let me
Is it
find
Max?
it.
Max.
Max.
Yeah, it's Max.
Yeah, she was like, Maximilian, that's my name. Don't wear it out. Cause he was like, Selena, oh my God, you're still alive. She was like sassy with him. Apparently this turned on Bruce Wayne / Batman. He likes sassy, assertive women.
Mm-hmm. He likes women that can actually hold their own and independent and strong. As you can tell, well, not so much with Vicky, but
just a snack.
But
need to get
put in the chat. She liked Halle Berry's Catwoman. I gotta have that as my bottom. I don't. The movie was terrible. But I mean, it's fine. I mean, I think Michelle Pfeiffer did a better job than, of course, Halle Berry, because anybody can do a better job than that.
All right.
However,
I can understand why some people might like Halle Berry, but I respect her opinion.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean,
I guess Charlie, to me, maybe like Anne Hathaway's Catwoman, is that more for you personally? Does that match more of the origin of Catwoman as a cat burglar?
I mean, I think it's just the style. I mean, she didn't act like, she wasn't acting like a cat. She was kind of like a cat burglar. She wasn't like chugging milk or or whatever like the last two iterations of Catwoman. Like, again, the cat's literally the cat's out of the bag on Zoe Kravitz's Catwoman. Again, I'm not sold on it, and I think right now I'm like, Halle Berry has it ahead of her for me. I don't know. I don't like her as an actress, and I've seen some stuff she's in. She's not very good, and it doesn't look entertaining with her as Catwoman when there's other ones out there. So again, I'll have to see it, but I think right now I would have to give Halle Berry the nod over her.
Dang,
just that. But I mean, I think for me that the Anne Hathaway one, she wasn't acting like a cat. I think she was actually. I think she was perfect for the role, and it just fit because she was a thief. She was literally stealing stuff, but also too, she can fight, and she was looking out for herself, and she's looking out for everybody else. And in this one, she isn't necessarily batshit crazy. So I think it just fit. And then she's kind of a team player, but it just her interaction with Batman in The Dark Knight Rises, for me, it just worked well. How she would immediately sell somebody out for her own gain, in a sense, and I think it just worked. This one, I don't know. I don't know the full story of Catwoman. I don't know the origin story. I think for me, it's not an origin story. It's just did it work in the movie. This one, I don't know, it didn't necessarily work. Again, the whole, oh yeah, Kat's just gonna lick her. Okay, she's back.
Yeah, I didn't get that.
Like that one, but I don't really necessarily care about an origin story for Catwoman. I just want to that, and again, I didn't like the outfit for the movie either. It's just like it was too in your face, and it didn't need to be that. Like I don't know. I think for me, it's just like because again, I watched the Dark Knight movies before these, and I mean, unlike John, I actually enjoyed the Dark Knight Rises. I actually had a good time. I saw it multiple times. I saw it quite a bit often in theaters, and a lot of times after work, I would stay after because I remember working during this movie. I would stay after and I'd watch it, and because it's entertaining. It's just, and it's real. It just feels real. It doesn't feel fake. Doesn't feel campy. It's the realism. This new one, Robert Pattinson. Sure, it looks real, but it just looks like a 3-hour sad story. That's what Robert Pattinson came out and said today. The new Batman movie is going to be a sad movie. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm not spending 3 hours in a theater to cry.
Well, I don't think it's so much of the crying aspect of it. It's about finding who he is and trying to set the boundaries of who we know as Batman later on. But that's just me speculating and everything too.
What a second universe Batman? Because remember, we're getting multiple universes with different Batmans, not one cohesive one. We gotta have. So it shows you how much Warner Brothers has faith in their product when they need to create multiple universes. Let's just stick with one. Let's just stick with one and go from there. Like, oh yeah, we're gonna have like 50 Batman in the Flash, and then you're gonna get Ben Affleck back potentially because Ursa Miller is saying we're gonna get him back. Let's do it. What you do with James Bond? You cast it every 4 movies. Cast a new one. That's fine. It works.
And you see, I'm the opposite though too, because think of it like this. You know how we were talking about like generations of people that have different Batmans. Think of it like this. You have each generation has their own Batman. I like the fact that each generation has their own Batman to where they can decide on which Batman that they like. And having Robert Pattinson, this could be actually somebody else's Batman for them. So that's the thing that I like.
I mean, yeah, that's fine. But when I think this generation, you're gonna get like multiple Batman, like multiple new ones, like 2 different multiple universes, no continuality, no cohesion.
Well,
and that's the confusing part. Like let's stick with one, and then so each generation's got one now. Like, and then I don't know. It's just, and I'm sorry, I just don't want to see Sparkle Vampire.
Well, I used to feel that way up until I saw a couple of his other movies. But anyways, moving on. Let's talk about
Ooh, yeah, cool.
Because there's a lot of stuff that I do want to talk about with Batman Returns.
Oh, okay.
And,
all right.
And that's the fact too. This actually has this has a big body count. This has 126 people that died in Batman. This is not, and 6 people died. Batman killed 6 people in this movie. And supposedly the rule is Batman doesn't kill. Okay, there's a part where there's one scene where this one guy has a bomb. He puts the bomb in the guy's pants, pushes him down the sewer, he blows up. Then there's another scene where these 2 guys with machine guns are on top of Batman's car, right? On his Batmobile. He's making them ride throughout the Gotham City, and then there's also this other clown who's blowing fire into the store. Batman hits on brakes. The 2 clowns that's on the car goes plowing into the store. They die. Then you see another part where the Batmobile lifts up, turns around, and then lights the clown that's blowing fire, lights him on fire. That clown is dead. Then there's a part where Selina goes on ahead and goes, there's also another part too where basically Selina's on top of the building and she goes, oh, excuse me, girl talk, and it's actually the girl who's supposed to be lighting the Christmas tree.
Oh yeah.
And of course there's a frame, it's a frame job because her and Penguin, for ungodly reason, they actually team up, which doesn't even make sense. They went on ahead and framed Batman because of the bats, and she winds up falling off the thing. Batman could have saved her, but he didn't. He just lets her fall. So he killed her. So there's a total of 6 deaths because of Batman. There's 126 deaths that piles up into this whole entire movie, though, too.
Are you the Charlie Day from Sunny in Philly with the conspiracy theories? Like, look on the wall.
Yeah.
Dude,
That-
I was going to the body
That's
count.
what it seems like. You're just like, oh yeah, like Batman flew them off the car while the building blew up. So technically, the death's on Batman. No, not really. It's on the guy that blew up the building. The guy that was shot the fire. Well, yeah, that's because he was standing right there. I want
No. That was intentional. I'm telling you, that was intentional. Because you know how I know? He lifts the car up, turns it around, and then the clown is still standing there, and he knows the clown is there. You can see it in his eyes. The clown is still there. And he lights him on fire.
Yeah, he's in the way.
The clown's gonna throw stuff at him. It's like,
yeah,
but
I mean,
from behind Charlie.
Yeah, he was in the way, John.
But,
I mean, the guy knew what, and then the girl's death, not necessarily. That's not on him. I wouldn't say
her. She should have called out of work.
Yeah, Selena technically killed her. It wasn't Batman. Batman did everything he could to try to save her. It's just he got tangled up.
Yeah, she was stupid.
Yeah, she was ditzy.
Yeah,
like
she was like, I guess I'm okay.
Like,
and then she on the ledge.
She decided to stand on the ledge.
Yeah,
or she believed her. She was so dumb. She's like, "Oh yeah, you're a town agent. Oh cool. I want to get by my good looks." Like, yeah, really? No, that's technically on her. But yeah, John, you need help, man.
I need help.
Yeah. you're all giddy about 126 deaths in this movie. Like,
I
didn't see any of that stuff. I'm like, we must have watched two different movies because all I saw was boring.
No, you fell asleep. That's what you did. I saw death.
I didn't fall asleep. I stayed up. I watched the whole film. I literally watched it and I was like, all right, can we wrap this up? Like, seriously, it's like this was 2 hours too long. This could have been at least an hour and 40 minutes. Like easily, and it would have been like that much better. And then get it not much. Because it wouldn't like the shorter runtime, yeah, it would have bumped up my review like maybe like a decimal point. But I mean, but it's like this. I watched this whole thing. This is boring. It's like, can you wrap this up? Seriously, like I actually want to have fun.
I cannot.
I had fun
to see what you think about Batman and Robin.
Oh, don't worry, John already knows because I have this book called the Bad Movie Bible, and I want to make sure this is a one that's calculating all these bad movies, and it's like, and then the higher the rating in this book, that means the more fun or cringy it is. Hence, like. So bad it's good. Speaking of which,
bad it's bad.
Tell the audience, John. Tell the audience, Charlie, where you got your book.
Oh, I think I bought this on Amazon. But you can get it at any bookstore in a sense. So there's a section in here all about the Batman scale, and on the Batman scale, it shows you their ranking. Sorry if I can't.
Oh, I see Batman and Robin. Oof.
So you have good Batman, which was the
already. Getting a headache just from looking at the meter already. I can't wait.
So I mean, you don't have Batman Returns on this list. You just have
it's not because it's a great movie.
It's a good movie.
Yeah, that's why.
Obviously not because they have good Batman, The Dark Knight. You have somewhat okay. I think it's still in the good range for 1989. And you have the 1966 version, and then you get middling Batman, which is Batman Forever's in that range. Bad Batman, you have Batman vs Superman. So it must have been this is a pretty recent. And then you have so bad it's good Batman, and it's Batman and Robin. And I'll go in more details when we cover Batman and Robin. And John,
I cannot wait for that show.
Yeah, you can't. You're criticizing the movie already, but usually you're supposed to you're bashing the movie when you're like
because I already seen it.
Yeah, you're bashing the movie for the sake of bashing it. And then yet now the whole movie lover snipe page is credited as saying this movie is trash.
It is. Everybody will agree with me. Everybody will agree with me. This movie is bad. It's not just one subjective opinion. It's a matter of fact. This made people not even want to go see any more comic book movies. This is what canceled comic book movies. If it wasn't for Wesley Snipes showing up as Blade, there wouldn't have been no more comic book movies. That's what canceled the whole entire thing. So
more like DC, because we don't know, they're still making Marvel movies by around that time. I mean, Blade helped, but there's pretty sure there's some other
No,
stuff.
actually, it was quiet on all ends. It was quiet even in that time. There was no Marvel movies or anything like that coming up. At that time, they were facing bankruptcy and everything too. So they didn't start pumping up movies until like Daredevil, Hulk, and all that other stuff until like later on.
Oh god, Hulk, yeah, that was terrible.
Oof.
Yeah, that was a bad one. But
bad.
anyways,
yeah.
But going back onto this,
The death count.
No, we're not doing that. But there is a line in here that I didn't even notice until I had to rewind the movie back again that I actually laughed at. Because remember when they wound up with the Batmobile where Penguin's goons winds up taking the Batmobile apart and then trying to control it? He basically did VR before VR was cool, Penguin. But the thing that I had to laugh at was when Alfred tells Bruce, he goes, "Yeah, we can't really go ahead and put this in the shop because of security reasons." And then Bruce winds up talking smack to him and goes, "Yeah, security reasons. That explains why Vicky Vale showed up behind me while I'm in the Batcave because of security."
Well, he brought her there too, right?
Right. But unconsciously, he brought her there. Then he brought her home. Remember, she winds up waking up. And then, of course, he winds up stealing her film.
Oh,
no,
he dropped some Quaaludes in her drink.
No, there's also a moment, too, where Alfred knew what he was doing. It was, like, towards the end of the movie where he intentionally brings Vicky down to the Batcave. That was the one that was the sequence he was talking about, not, like, drugging her, sending her back. Right. This is towards the end of the movie where he goes, "Yeah, you brought her down there when I was working, and she was behind me."
Talk about security.
Yeah. But, I'm sure he drugged some women.
But to me, this is the most Adam West kind of style of getting into the Batcave, if you think about it, because of the fact that you wind up seeing Bruce. He sticks his hand into the fish tank, and then there's a secret password that comes up, and it's the nails. Basically, it's almost the same prop as the Sleepy Hollow prop.
Yeah, it is.
And so he presses the button. All the bed of nails moves out of the way, and then he slides down like a slide. I love that scene and everything too. And I remember having the that set as that set piece thing as an action figure set piece. I actually had that.
I didn't know that was an action figure.
Yeah, they actually had the Batcave and stuff like that, but I love that scene. And then him trying to sabotage Penguin was a great scene for me, even though they're basically being practical jokers in the 90s with basically Alfred and Bruce down in there playing the disc. And this is how meta it is because there's actually a bat symbol on the CD where the CD is being played at.
Yeah, and then he did a turntables down and said chicka chicka.
Yeah. So John, are you gonna blame the deaths that Batman caused while Penguin was controlling it on Batman, or is that necessary?
That was Penguin's fault.
Oh, okay. I thought you were gonna blame Batman for that one too.
No, that was Penguin's fault with that because, and this is another thing that makes me laugh about this film was how easy it was for Batman to smash his hand through the bottom of that car to get the tracker off there to where he was.
Yeah.
It made me laugh on that. I mean, like, because at first I was like, oh, when I was a kid, I'm like, oh yeah, Batman's tough. He can rip through just about anything. I'm like, and then now that I know that he just glides and he doesn't have any powers, I'm like, yeah, you're just an average guy.
Yeah, but I can't punch through my floorboard on my car.
Me either. But I was just like, how tough is this Batmobile actually is? This is what I was wondering.
Yeah, that Batmobile has security issues if they can come in and take it apart. I mean, his Batman in 1989 was more secure because he did the secure shields.
He did too. Yep. They took away the shield. They must have had the technology to unshield the Batmobile. That's literally how they got in. If Batman locked it, they were somehow able to carjack it and then lock it back.
Wow.
Which is really ridiculous because they live in a sewer. How the heck did they have that technology? Then again, how can they get Penguin's rockets on them?
That is awesome. I don't know what you're talking about. That's the most awesome
That's where
thing.
Dr. Evil came up with the concept of having lasers on the shark.
That's the most awesome thing I ever seen. Penguins with rockets on their back. Highlight of the movie for me.
Exactly. But but you know what else could be a highlight that could actually get everybody's day started off in the right way and the right foot? Manscaped.
All right. Let's
You
do
know, even the penguin himself probably has a tough time shaving his balls, especially living down in the sewer. So you need to shave with the best of the best, and that's Manscaped. And they just launched their 4th generation performance package. This ultimate package includes the Lawnmower 4.0. You heard that right. The 4.0 Manscaped, the leaders in male grooming, have done it again and making your grooming game the next level. Join the 4 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with the new performance package 4.0 by going to manscaped.com for 20% off plus free shipping with the code Movie Loves Unite. And get this, I promise you this. I guarantee you that Selena would want to play with Bruce's balls if he winds up having a Manscaped. So, you know, having your package shaved with the right kind of gear, you need to be Batman and have that in his utility belt at all times, because you never know when something's going to arise in the Batcave. With the package 4.0 by Manscaped has arrived, and oh man, it was worth the wait. Inside the package, you'll find the Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer, weed whacker, ear and nose hair trimmer, crop preserver, ball deodorant, crop reviver, toner, performance, boxer briefs, and a travel bag to hold all your goodies. First off, the new Performance Package 4.0 includes the Lawnmower 4.0. The trimmer is insane, and I dare say the greatest ball trimmer ever. The 4th generation trimmer features a cutting-edge ceramic blade for reducing grooming accidents. Thanks to the advanced skin-safe technology, the Lawnmower 4.0 has a 7,000 RPM motor, a new multi-function and off switch, and an engaged travel lock, and gives you the ability to turn the 4,000 LED spotlight on and off to allow Batman to show up perfectly on time for his date so he can shave his balls when needed for a more precise shave. Oh, did I mention this trimmer is waterproof too, which is also perfect for Penguin whenever he has to go back into the sewers again. You thought that was good, but wanted to take your grooming game even further to the next level? The Performance Package 4.0 also includes the Weed Whacker to chop your worst weeds up top in your nose and ear. The Weed Whacker is also waterproof and uses a 9,000 RPM motor powered 360-degree rotary dual blade system. The nose, ear, trimmer provides property skin-safe technology which helps prevent nicks, snags, and tugs in those delicate holes. Seal the deal with Manscaped liquid formulation with their prop preserver, which I actually do recommend for that. The ball deodorant is just as good before leaving the house, and Crop Reviver ball toner for a mid-game ball check. Trust me when I say this, fellas, your balls will thank you. Manscaped even threw in 2 free gifts for the Performance 4.0, the Manscaped Boxers and the Shed Travel Bag. Bring your comfort and boxers to another level. And get 20% off plus free shipping with the code Movie Loves Unite at manscaped.com. That's 20% off plus free shipping with the code Movie Loves Unite at manscaped.com. Your balls have been through enough this past year, and treat them with the best tools for the job with Manscaped. And let's get back on target with
let's go on ahead. He can't hold a Manscaped, Charlie. I mean, he has like this is.
That's why he has Max. He has Max to hold.
Max will trade him.
He could use his thumb, right? Like this is, and then he can do this, right?
No, he'd have no grip, and he'd cut his own balls off.
You see, that's why he needs a Manscaped, so he doesn't have to.
He's dead. He's dead. He's dead.
If he was alive, then maybe Catwoman would have slept with him. If he had
sleep with him, that was not happening.
Yeah, you're right. She wasn't gonna touch him.
She literally saw him eating. Like he threatened to eat one of her cats, or he's gonna eat.
That's because his balls wasn't shaved for the best.
She put the bird in her mouth.
On a fish.
That's another thing I wanted to talk about, though, too, was the fact that how unkid friendly this actually is. Because, there's the pussy that I've been waiting for. I'm like, what? My parents took me to go see this?
Yeah. And then he was talking to that campaign manager, and he was like, I like to fill her void. I was like, oh, what? Gosh. And then I think I think Max said if he was mayor, he could get all the poutine he wanted.
Yeah, he said that.
And I was like, okay. So that was the thing that made him mayor, and also he was the great politician. I'll be honest, because he was groping women before these other politicians decided to grope
But
women.
how can he grope them though? He'll be cutting stuff off though.
He was putting a button on the woman, and he was taking his time. He's like, yeah, he's like kind of groping her, and she was like.
I mean, the Christopher Walken character was originally supposed to be the Two-Face character. It was supposed to be Harvey Dent.
No way. Really?
Yeah, it was supposed to be that character, like the Max character. They had to come up with that on the fly because it was going to be it was really going to be Harvey Dent was going to be that kind of a role in a sense.
Wow.
I can see Walken playing Two-Face.
He was never playing Harvey Dent. It was going to be for Colt 45 was supposed to continue on.
You say Colt 45.
All I can think is that Afro Man song, Colt 45 and 2 zigzags. Baby, that's all we need.
No, like that was the iconic.
Yeah, we know.
Right.
Yeah, Colt 45.
Because you never know when your wife's your wife's friend might be over. Colt 45. I listen to that ad like all the time. But that was originally supposed to be the Harvey Dent character. It was supposed to play in a sense that.
Interesting. I didn't know that part. That's pretty.
Me either.
Yeah. Well, I think it's even though Harvey Dent wasn't in it, and he was supposed to be in it, the way that they created the character Max was pretty cool because he was too a corrupt politician. And like I said, I think all the Batman movies they address some underlying problem in society. Like
even in the comics they do that too.
Yeah, like the Penguin has a deformity. And they're giving their child, they're basically just throwing their child away because it has a deformity. And then he's trying to find his parents. I know that Batman isn't all the way in the movie, but he's trying to find his parents. And he's playing on the public, their heartstrings. Even Bruce was like, oh, I hope he finds his parents. I was like, Bruce, wake up. You should know that something suspicious is going on.
He didn't care.
What I don't get is you see a guy come up from the sewer and the clown jumps down into the sewer and then here he comes levitating himself out of the sewer. Oh, I hope he finds his son, his parents. I'm like, Bruce, wake up. You need some Folgers in your life or something, dude, because this is
the Joker. Come on now. What happened?
He didn't care. Like again, like I said, Michael Keaton was just running the motions. Like he was like done. I mean, he got paid $10 million to just do that because Tim Burton says he earned it. That was how he got back because I think Tim Burton brought him back because you did a good job. You can come back. That's pretty much because that's how much he got. Michael Keaton got paid $10 million because Tim Burton said he earned it. Apparently, nobody else earned it to come back.
I guess we would ask why didn't Batman get enough playtime in this film? Why did they write it that way? Whoever is the writer, why couldn't they balance out three characters?
I think it goes to the motions of having too many characters on screen at that time and not knowing how to balance it out. I never noticed that there was less time until Charlie brought it up.
Yeah, I didn't either. Yeah.
Because I always thought that there was enough screen time with everything, to be honest with you. This is more of the detective kind of aspect to it versus the Batman aspect to it. And more of the lines of a political drama kind of way of doing a Batman movie. Because it is very political, like you mentioned, Tomeka, and I was going to bring that up, but I'm glad that you brought it to my attention as well, because I was thinking the same thing. But after he winds up snapping at everybody, and then he's like, you know what, screw this. I don't want to do this anymore. And you have people throwing vegetables at him and all that stuff. And then next thing you know, he winds up shooting at the crowd, and he goes back into the sewer where he is actually from. And then he decides he's going to kidnap all the politicians' kids. And that's also too where the body count comes from too with Penguin. This is from Penguin. This is not from Batman. This is from Penguin.
I got it.
Where the 126 comes from is because of the fact with all those people that are dancing and Bruce is about to walk away and trying to calm Selena down, which is that's another part that I liked in this film. It's like do not cross down this path that you're going to go on, Selena. Let's talk about this. So as he's walking away, the dance floor winds up exploding, and then also too, you also have people that died while they were dancing. The super freak.
I don't think 126 people died from that. Like there's
a body count.
Yeah, I know. But I think they might have been like exaggerating a lot because that dance floor sequence, not many people were close to the center anyway. And there's that, it's all about the gravity and the inertia and all that kinds of stuff. There's no way the explosion would have just killed everybody in that room because Bruce got up, he was fine. Selena got up, was fine. There's other people there, they were just there on the ground because they're just plain dead, or they're not in that. They weren't even dead. Trying to get out of the situation. I don't know. Like it's called reading the room, maybe. I don't know. There's no way 126 people just died. Or a majority of the people died from just that. Because why would they die that way? Because the Penguin's gonna he wants them to pay. Okay, you're gonna take their kid and then you're gonna kill the parents.
That's another thing though too. We see all these kids being kidnapped, but really it wasn't that many politicians that he actually stole from.
I just don't understand why he just didn't kidnap the kids first and take them to his lair and then appear at the party and say, I took your kids. That way Batman wouldn't have known where.
Wasn't that smart?
Okay, got it.
I don't know. I mean, the Penguin just the Penguin didn't really think things out. Like when he was expecting all the Penguins to all oh yeah, they're all going to Central. Wait, what do you mean they're turning away?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He had no backup plan. He didn't he thought he was the smartest guy in the room, but he was kind of the idiot in the room.
Well, I will say there that I don't know if Nolan took inspiration from Batman Returns, but the scene that Selena and Bruce in it's not Dark Knight.
Dark Knight Rises.
Dark Knight Rises. That's the same scene as Batman Returns. That whole dance sequence that they're going through in the mask party. I don't know if he took inspiration from that, but
he probably did. It's more fitting.
The earlier Batman films still seem influential to this day.
Right. I can definitely see aspects of Nolan using that dance floor scene. And it also fits in with Selena's character and also with Bruce's character, though, too, using the masquerade kind of deal.
Yeah. I don't know what the new Batman film would take from the previous Batman films. But I don't know. I mean, like I said, I'm gonna watch it and see how it's gonna go, but I'm not too keen on this Catwoman design. I mean, she pretty much has a bodysuit on and a ski mask and some long nails.
And
that's about all I saw.
Various disguises, but then again, it's she's pretty recognizable. Okay, yeah. Oh, I just got a wig on.
Yeah,
she's still pretty recognizable.
I got a mustache.
Can't see me. I'm a gingerbread man.
That's a better way of actually using that, Charlie. But to me, the whole entire thing where they're controlling the penguins and stuff like that made me laugh because I couldn't help but think of Dr. Evil and frown whenever she's doing the countdown and the girl is over there doing the countdown with the penguins, and I'm like, oh, I could think it's like a Dr. Evil bit for some reason whenever I see that now.
Yeah,
but
maybe they took from that film too. Who knows? I can see that. Oh, go ahead.
No, Tomeka, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. I was just gonna say, I can see more and more aspects of Burton's earlier works coming into play, like his ideas for Batman Returns, like you said, are in Sleepy Hollow now. Or, gosh, did this come out before Nightmare Before Christmas?
I think that it came out like in 93 or 94.
Well, sort of around the same time. Like I can see aspects that he tried out in Batman Returns and that he's using for his films afterwards. Like
I could
I
even
could
see hints of Beetlejuice in it, though, too.
yeah. Yeah, and even the music
Do.
that he uses, like that sounds like Nightmare Before Christmas.
It's Danny Elfman. So yeah, he used music I think from Nightmare Before Christmas for Danny Elfman, and Danny Elfman did a lot of work in those days. And I love Danny Elfman's scoring. When it comes down to scores and everything in the '90s and stuff like that, he even did the Men in Black scoring. He did a bunch of other stuff though too. And there's also something else I didn't realize that Danny Elfman did, and that was the scoring for the Michael J. Fox movie, The Frighteners, which was directed by Peter Jackson.
Really? I didn't know Peter Jackson directed that.
Yep.
Interesting.
Oh,
but yeah, back to the film.
But I like the. What did you think of the bat boat that they had in the sewer, though? It was all right.
Yeah,
I had the toy. The toy was better.
I just like the Batmobile itself. I didn't really care about the boat or anything else. The end scene, it still creeps me out to this day, where he Max shoots Selena, and I'm like, shouldn't she be dead by now? I know she doesn't have a bulletproof vest on underneath all that leather.
Cats have 9 lives, but
okay, well, I guess her craziness can't kill her. You know, it's keeping her alive. And she gets this stun gun, and she's like, "Give me a kiss." And he's electrocuted, and I'm like, "Oh, geez, like that still freaks me out to this day."
to be honest with you, Tomeka, I didn't realize that she did that because as a kid, I don't realize what's going on. I'm a kid, but I'm like a 8-year-old kid, 9-year-old kid watching Batman Returns, right? So I'm thinking, okay, so they kissed or whatever, and then it didn't dawn on me until I watched it now. She fried his ass with the taser and also to electrocuting him the other way with the generator. I'm like, ooh. And also, too, like I said, she also refers to her as a cat, so therefore, cats have 9 lives. She still had more, and even she acknowledges the fact that she has more lives.
Yeah.
Just a countdown of who killed her and things like that.
Yeah, and this is like the cave of secrets being revealed, because she's revealed, and Max is like, Selena, that's you? And then Batman, for some reason, he takes his I don't know why. He rips it off.
His suit sucks. I gotta admit, I'm gonna say what else. Like, the suit sucks. Like it really, it's not that
one of the reasons.
That was bad. It was poorly designed. Like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna rip it off. It rips off like that. I'm like, why didn't anybody do this earlier? If you wanted to beat up Batman, just rip his mask off. It's so easy. It cuts through like butter. That's essentially how much the Bat Cow does, and it's like that's why that's why I appreciate the later suits, because they're not as
the later suits are a lot more realistic.
I'm sure the actors appreciate them too, because that was a lot of heavy rubber they were dealing with.
Well, even Val Kilmer said it was a hell to try and use the bathroom in the Batman suit.
Yeah, he was uncomfortable with it, and then the you can't turn your neck. They all had to turn their bodies, and I can see in the later suits that it's more functional. Maybe they can turn their necks.
I'm pretty sure it probably shrinks when you're in water. I'm surprised the suit didn't shrink while Mike Keane was in the water situation. Like, how's that suit not shrinking? Because that one would get so like it I'm surprised he can even breathe. That thing looked like cheap plastic.
It could have been another reason he didn't want to do it anymore. It was very difficult just being in that suit.
I didn't think about that.
Hours.
He just didn't seem interested in it, honestly. And maybe that's why they didn't have him in it that long. But I don't know. But
could be one too. Yeah, like if I'm him, yeah, you throw $10 million at me, but also I have to get back in this suit. And it's long shooting hours, and maybe I can't go to the bathroom, and then you're shooting that scene in the water, and it's wet, and it's probably cold down there or on the set. Maybe that could be some aspect too. I don't know. I have to. It would be interesting to read why Michael Keaton didn't want to come back. Well, I know you told me, but if there's another reason or what his experience was now with doing Batman Returns or Batman.
I think now the reason why he wants to do it is because he had a chance to actually step away from the character for a while. And also, too, now the Bat Cowl might not even be that uncomfortable compared to where it was before.
Mm-hmm.
So that might be another thing, too.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like
speculating.
I'm sorry.
Well, they could have. Yeah, it may look like the same suit, but they could have actually did something to where he could move around in it better, had a better way of actually moving around emotionally.
Yeah, I know this is off topic just a little bit, but it's within the Batman wheelhouse. But yeah, I think Affleck should have got a film.
Yeah.
Not
wussy. Not wussy boy.
He should have got a film before. I kind of agree with Charlie a little bit. He should have got a film before they jumped to the Flash and had 50 different Batmans. Like I kind of like that concept that Charlie was talking about with James Bond. Maybe like 2 or 3 films. Everybody gets one, but Affleck never got one.
No,
he never got a solo film.
And you see, that's what made me excited for Ben to be Batman and everything, because him and Joe Manganiello were going to go ahead and go at it, have a face-off basically between him and Deathstroke. And they're basically almost close to the same height, opposed to reach. And I wanted to see that battle. And I'm like, okay. And this is me just being a comic book nerd and stuff like that too. I'm like, okay, so they casted a new... I'm still having held out hopes that Ben will still be Batman at that time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, okay, so they picked Robert Pattinson. Okay, I got that. So I'm thinking, okay, maybe Deathstroke winds up killing Batman, killing Bruce to the point where he actually has to go into, what's that? Go on it. What's that? The guy's name from the Ra's al Ghul, where he has to go see Ra's al Ghul.
The Lazarus Pit.
Go into the Lazarus Pit. It winds up when he winds up turning him back to being young. We wind up seeing that version of him being young through Robert Pattinson's eyes. And that's what I thought. He was on his way of being dead, to the point where he had no choice but to go to the Lazarus Pit to be healed by Ra's al Ghul. And now, that's actually a good transformation of, okay, Ben is no longer Batman. Robert Pattinson is now the Batman.
Yeah. Or I always picture Ben as the oldest, grumpier Batman, like the Dark Knight comic series.
Yep.
Like he's sick of everybody and he's willing to actually kill people.
They did take from that.
I always thought of being in that aspect of Batman. Like This is his later stage into coming out of retirement.
There's one other thing I want to mention before we end it. What did you guys think of the tech that Penguin used for his umbrellas and stuff like that? Because I know that's like a throwback to the 1960s flavor of Penguin, with using different umbrellas for different things and the way that he used things, which I thought that was really interesting, of having one that can actually propel that, use it as a helicopter to hover over the city and escape. I love that whole entire Inspector Gadget kind of feel to it. What about you, though?
Charlie's over it, but really.
I mean, I've seen it before, and it was like, because I know they used that in the old show called The Avengers, not anything related to the Marvel movies, but The Avengers in itself. Horrible movie adaptation, by the way, but it's essentially using the umbrella, and it's like, okay, it's kind of cool, but I mean, there's no way an umbrella would be able to take, because I'm surprised nobody asked about how much do you weigh. I'm surprised that wasn't asked. Penguin gave it to Catwoman and she was sucked up. And I'm like, there's no way that umbrella would even go that far at all. So I was like, I don't know. it didn't like again. I was just ready for the movie to be over.
Uh,
I was
it's
like,
like a suspension of belief, really. That but all his gadgets, they work for him, because he can't fight. He can bite somebody's nose off,
yeah.
as we saw, but he can't really fight. So those are his
Right.
weapons of choice.
I mean, I was surprised the umbrella was able to hold his weight. I thought the umbrella would immediately.
It's
He would
suspension of belief, Charlie. We're supposed
But
to believe and use our imagination and go, oh goodness.
sure at the time, and that's fine. Like at the
Yes,
time,
at
yeah,
the
it worked.
time,
But I think for
yes.
me, it just how many years later? I was like, it's 23 years later, or like
Wow,
however long since this came out in 92.
goodness.
No, I think it's actually 30.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, right. 30 years. I think for me, it just doesn't hold.
Uh-huh.
It doesn't hold up, and it's just like I mean that suspension of belief. Sure, but if I like again, this movie came out the year I was born, so I didn't even know of this. Maybe if I'd watched this before that one, sure.
Mm-hmm.
Not really.
Gotcha.
Just I mean, it's like the gadgets. Yeah.
there's one.
Oh, go ahead.
There's another thing I want to mention too. Is okay. So he's running for mayor, right?
Mm-hmm.
He bites somebody's nose off. Nobody says, I don't think he should be running. Nobody says anything about him. Max, we need to talk about your boy.
Everybody's on drugs.
Yeah, it's politics. They're like, oh well. I mean,
Sex
they
and
were like, oh, but then who's gonna speak against Max? Or they're gonna be in that river like his coworker that's on extended leave.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's just like I mean, I was surprised. Like, and everybody's just they were so high on something. And he's like, yeah, okay, it's okay. He lost his parents. So it's okay that he bit the guy's nose off. It's perfectly fine. Like, no, it
Back
isn't.
to work. Yeah, and some people probably said this is politics.
I'm like, look at all those I mean, he's a sexual pervert. And I mean, look at all those like how he's able to get away with all that kinds of stuff. And yet, and at a circus group that was living in the attic, like literally.
Well, there are sexual perverts who are politicians now, so
yeah,
right.
Tell me that.
So well, it's not any suspension of belief on that.
No, definitely not. But
yeah.
Sorry, Tomeka, go on ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, no. I was just gonna give some credit to Charlie because I guess with Nolan's Batman, like you said, is more realistic and the weapons are functional. But like I think he used military weaponry, right?
Yep.
And you can kind of see that now. You can say, oh, you can imagine anyone being in those type of tanks. So I was gonna give credit to Charlie. I understand. Like I'm trying to get in Charlie's mind. I understand if I just saw Nolan and I'm like, oh, okay, Batman seems more real to me. Like he's using more realistic weapons instead of an umbrella or something like that. So like you say, it's a generational thing, but I was just going to give you credit.
Thank you. But I just, for me, the realism, this really sits because it deals with a lot of stuff, what's going on. And everything just feels like it's scary, not campy. It's not cartoony. Like, I mean, that flying vehicle that he had, the bat thing, I forgot the name of it, the bat wing or whatever it was.
Mm-hmm.
That thing looked, the Whisperer or whatever the heck it's called. That thing was cool looking because, and not everything had to be the shape of the bat of the bat because it's like, oh, look, it's a bat. Yeah, it's Batman. It's like, it's not obvious. It's not in your face. It's like, like, I mean, the tank, who would have thought that the tank was the Batmobile? It's not. And then how the Batmobile turned into the motorcycle. That thing was that's how that happened. It wasn't like, he randomly had it. No, he transformed into it. And I thought that was really cool. And it was like he went with it kind of like, well, I mean, Michael Caine, when he destroyed his when the Batmobile was like, We gotta get it fixed. He doesn't improvise, and that's what I appreciate with the Nolans. Or he's able to make when the Batmobile is destroyed, it turns right into the motorcycle, and how simplistic that is. How he works with it. He's like MacGyver in a sense. He
Gotcha.
works with that, and this one is like the Michael Keaton's one's like it's broken. Yeah, we gotta get it fixed. Whatever. Like, and it's like he's like flamboyant. I'm like, no, you use what you got, you adjust. And that's why the realism for me.
I see an evolution of Bruce, though.
Yeah.
Like there's Bruce Wayne, the billionaire. And like you said, Bruce Wayne, something's broke. I'm gonna get something else. You know. But Bruce Wayne in Nolan's universe is still the playboy billionaire, but he's more hands-on, I guess.
He buys it. He's more flamboyant with the money, while Michael Keaton just like sitting in his. He's like the pre-COVID version of Batman. Like he's the COVID version of Batman.
Oh my god!
All he does is sit at home. He doesn't like leaving. He just likes to sit at home.
Yeah, but the ladies come to him though. See,
not really. I mean, the only time is like because when he's out, when he has to be out there, he's like, oh, I have a meeting. I'm like, ugh. Like, but it just seems this one.
I would feel the same way. I'm like, ew, a meeting, gross.
Like he's this COVID version of Batman, and that's what essentially what because he just stays at home all the time.
And
the other Batman, they're out in public.
I appreciate him a lot more for being the COVID version of Batman. I want a Batcave so I can sit in it.
Like Alfred's like. I mean, the only consistency out of all of these 90 or 80, 90 Batmans is the guy that plays Alfred. It's the same guy in every movie.
Yeah. Yeah, I would like
That's
to say
the only consistency out of all of this.
I would want a Batcave in these COVID times. So I can be COVID Batman.
COVID Batgirl. Batwoman.
Sure, whatever.
Anyways, that's gonna be it as far as the show goes and everything. Tomeka, where can everybody follow you at and everything? I know that you have a show coming up on Friday.
Yes, we have a show coming up on Friday. I think we're gonna do a review of a documentary on Black Wall Street for.
Oh, you're not joining us for Batman and Robin on Friday?
No.
I'm actually gonna. How about we change that to Monday for Batman and Robin? Because I want Tomeka to be here for that.
Okay.
Is that okay with you, Charlie?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Okay. All right. Just want to make sure.
No,
there we go.
Yeah. So, Friday we're doing a review of Black History documentary, Black Wall Street. And my podcast is Two Blurred Girls Podcast, and my better half is Tamara. So we're doing that, and the Friday after we're gonna go back and try to get through Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. We're not doing all 64 episodes because that's our whole season, but we're gonna try to get through as much as we can. But yeah, it's Two Blurred Girls. We're on Facebook and under Two Blurred Girls. We're also on Twitter at Blurred2Girls. We're on Instagram, Two Blurred Girls _podcast, and we're on Twitter as well. And we also have an audio podcast on Apple. We're on iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, Anchor, Good Pods, and many more. So check us out and subscribe.
All right, and everybody, you guys can go on here and follow me underneath Movie Lovers TV Lovers Night on Facebook and on Instagram and on Pinterest underneath the same brand name. Of course, you guys can go on ahead and get yourself an audio-only podcast episode of many shows that we do here at Movie Lovers Tonight, where you guys get your major podcasts from. Go over to Good Pods, check us out over there, rate individual episodes. It's like social media for podcasters. If you're a podcaster yourself and want to go ahead and listen to individual episodes, rate us and talk to us, go ahead, do that to make us on there, like she mentioned. And also, too, if you would like to go on ahead, and we understand that you might be living underneath the Batcave being with COVID and everything, and we understand that maybe you might not be able to afford anything, but that's okay. But if you choose to do so, go ahead, donate $5 to $10 to us. How do you do that? You just go to GoFundMe.com/Movie Lovers Podcast and donate $5 to $10 over there. Of course, just clicking on the like button and subscribe button and commenting below also helps us as well. And also to smash on that bell in the bottom right-hand corner to allow you guys to know when we have something new coming on. That's how you guys can go ahead and find out about that. Then, of course, you guys can go on ahead, follow me underneath Movie Lovers Unit on TikTok, Movie Lovers Unit 0, and then Movie Lovers Unit, of course, on Twitter. And then if you want to reach out to me, I would like to be a sponsor or want to be on the show, all you have to do is reach out to me at movieloversnight@gmail.com, and that's everywhere you can reach me at. Thank you so much, Tomeka. I do appreciate you talking Batman and Batman Returns. And then tomorrow night, 8 o'clock Central Time, 9 o'clock Eastern Time, we're doing Batman Forever.
Yay!
So,
Yay, finally good Batman.
it's metal Batman. It's fine. But it's okay.
More entertaining.
But anyways, always until next time, it's been real. It's been fun. Stay safe out there, and bye-bye.